You won't believe this. The grass you see here is actually made from layered strips. The production process is truly fascinating. Manufacturing this type of grass is incredibly challenging. It's more than just a race against time. It also simulates the plant growth environment and keep plenty of light and natural airflow. Many characteristics come together to make it mysterious. This grass requires the use of extremely high purity polyethylene and put it in a bucket to soften the structural molecules after the thermosetting volume changes. Noodles fell. Are you curious to see this question mark? Why isn't grass grown from seeds? I guess you're right, but plants are expensive and expensive to maintain. This has also led many courses to choose plastic lawns, act as decoration. The advantage is that the price is low. Even in winter, it is still a green field. First, the group in the picture, the ethylene is cooled by the first water, then put it in the giant scroll wheel. Let it change its plastic state. The simplest way to put it is to make the material harder. Then our little black guy pulled the material up, sprint forward, pay little attention to the material. Insertion tube for fast downward transfer. And the old master on the side has to show his housekeeping skills. Place a piece of polyethylene on the mold conveyor belt. Obviously, this is not a simple process because it will break if you are not careful. All efforts lost. This is the secondary heating. Only after one cold and one hot will make the material harder, but that's just for objects. If you change people, you may catch a cold when you are cold and hot. Polyethylene material forming in the blink of an eye, ready to place in the mold. Formal material winding. Each piece of polyethylene material will. High-speed needle rotation, due to the stability of the structural molecules at this time. So I'm not afraid to break. Just wrap it hard to make it tighter. Since it is plastic, so this thing is not heavy, it can be moved around with one hand. For later use convenience. Secondary conversion. Winding is also required. The specific steps are to unify the materials below, wrapped in the barrel above, and divided according to unified specifications. At this point, rolls of raw material are being formed. The parallel code is placed in the transmission fixed position. Final preparation before knitting. And the new polyethylene cord also needs to be tied to the cord. Make it more consistent. Otherwise, it will be very laborious to reinstall the cord. Now let's take a look at this mysterious interior scene. Hundreds of cords sit on the shelves. The factory will arrange positions in this workshop to observe at any time. If there is any defect, it will be filled at any time. Avoid defects, and then formally weave the material. And the process seems to be similar to weaving. Under the operation of the textile machine, a giant piece of fabric will take shape. From the details, there are hardly any flaws. At this point, little grasses were planted and become one with the huge fabric. But these materials are very fragile. The grass just needs to be pulled lightly and it will fall. Therefore, a certain thickness of adhesive must be applied to the surface. Glue, grass will be stronger with soil. Stronger, and the main purpose of lighting baking, just to improve structural stability. Make the rubber better adsorbed on the surface and form a thick waterproof layer. But there's another problem. I don't know if you've seen this. Such a video. A lawn bulges up and fills with water below. And that lawn, it is caused by the lack of drainage holes. When the surface is filled with round holes, moisture can be sent back faster. Now the lawn has a basic appearance. Green oil under the surface, covered with a black rubber waterproof layer. Now start packing the finished product, ready to be shipped to the stadium. And the packaging method seems to be very efficient. Automated process. It's very strong without much force. Ready to unload and start laying the lawn. And that's the Ungreen Stadium. Next, the official laying starts. First, a giant metal roller, placed in the material center. After that, there are two similar to lifting. machine equipment to move transportation, and these two devices are a bit indistinguishable. It's human labor. It's still powered by electricity. In the blink of an eye, a giant lawn was laid. But because the lawn takes on a split shape, you also need to use a sewing machine to sew the edges, make it more fixed. I have to. Are the current construction teams so professional? Not only installation, but also detail processing. But let's be honest, the lawn is indeed more beautiful. Not only does playing football avoid injuries, secondly, it is also more ornamental. And this thing is basically not broken. It's no problem at all for 3 or 5 years. I just don't know if this is expensive. So, what do you think?